Well, good evening and welcome to the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Basin. I am awaiting my co-host in Andre Doc Manders, but I'm going to quickly run down today's results and a few eye-openers in the First Division. St. David's Cricket Club would have wrapped up the league with a 7-wicket victory over Willowcott. Willowcott scored 112 and St. David scored 115 for 3. Flats Victoria won by 4 wickets over PHC. PHC scored 96 for 4 in their 20 overs, and Flats scored 97 for 6. Devonshire Recreation Club won by 30 runs over Somerset Bridge. These are the First Division scores. Devonshire Recreation Club scored 169 for 4, and then restricted Somerset Bridge to 139 for 6 in their 20 overs. Then in the Premier Division, it came down to the second to last ball of the game that saw Bailey's Bay defeat Cleveland County by 6 wickets. Cleveland County scored 140 for 6 in their 20 overs, and Bailey's Bay scored 145 for 4 in 19.5 overs. Then Somerset defeated Western Stars. Somerset scored 132 for 8 in their allotted 20 overs, and then restricted Western Stars to 76 for 9 in reply. And then at the Southampton Oval, Warwick Workmen's defeated Southampton Rangers by 2 wickets. Southampton Rangers scored 119 for 9, and Warwick Workmen scored 122 for 8. So those were the scores from today. Looking at yesterday's scores as well, St. George's Cricket Club defeated the Southampton Rangers by 8 wickets. Southampton Rangers scored 91 for 7, and St. George's scored 94 for 2. And these are the Premier Division matches. Western Stars won by 5 wickets. They restricted Cleveland County to 117 for 6 in their 20 overs, and then Western Stars made 118 for 5. And Somerset Cricket Club picked up a win over Warwick Workmen's Club. Somerset Cricket Club scored 112 for 6 in their 20 overs, and then restricted Warwick Workmen's to 89 for 7. And in the lone First Division match yesterday, St. David's Cricket Club won by 43 runs over Somerset Bridge. St. David scored 148 for 5 and restricted Somerset Bridge to 105 for 9. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll go deeper into these matches. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
And welcome back. And welcome to my co-host, Andre Doc Mendes. Doc, how you doing today? Oh, he's dropped out. Let's hope he gets back in. So we're gonna jump into those yesterday matches. Let's look at the first division match, St. David's versus Somerset Bridge at the White Hill Field. St. David's batted first, scored that 148 for 5. We had, welcome back, Doc.
Welcome, Harold.
Yes. So we're going to look at yesterday's matches, and I'm just started with the lone first division match because the other two were defaulted. But St. David's won by 43 runs over Somerset Bridge. St. David's batted first, scored 148 for 5. Ajon Lamb was the top scorer of 51. His runs came off of 50 balls, hitting 2 4s and 3 6s. Noah Woods took 2 for 16 for Somerset Bridge. Then in reply, Somerset Bridge only scored 105 for 9. Jason Smith was the top scorer with 27. Justin Pitcher took 3 for 6 from 2 overs. Leading after that match, St. David's knew that a victory today would all but seal up the first division for them, but they had to take care of the business yesterday against Somerset Bridge.
Yeah, if you look at it, they're pretty much sealed up, even though there's a lot of games left.
Right.
It's just formality now with St. David's. It's going to be who to go up with.
Right.
Right now they're fighting for second place.
Yeah. It looks like everybody's trying to give it away.
They haven't even lost a game yet, so
right.
I'm pretty sure that the remaining games they probably end up giving a few younger guys a chance to play and rotating the betting order and stuff like that there. So and you got to give kudos to them because they went down and they came straight back up. I'm sure they want pretty sure they always thought that they should have been up in the Premier Division anyway. Right. The team they have. So and I'm just glad to see them back up.
Right. And then yesterday in the Premier Division, up at the Somerset Cricket Club, Somerset batted first. Only scored 112 for 6 in their 20 overs. L.J. Richardson was the top scorer at 48. Young Luke Horan took 3 for 11 off of 3 overs for Warwick Workmans. But in reply, Warwick were only able to get 89 for 7. Corey Bridges was their top scorer of 19. Dominic Sabir took 3 wickets for 2 runs in a 1 over he bowled. So Somerset, of late, we were concerned about them. Well, obviously a big concern in the 50 overs, but here lately in the T20, they've picked up some vital wins.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised. They've got a few commercial league players that are playing for now. And if you look at it now, with Sabir back in the team too, he missed a lot of the season because he was traveling with the squad. And also they got a fairly good burner lineup too. So I'm not really surprised. I'm just thinking that LJ, starting to make a little bit of runs now too. And that picked up 2 good results if you think about it. On the weekend now, they're just putting a lot of pressure in the middle order teams. Like now, if you look at Stars, they picked up 1 win and 1 loss. They're going in that relegation battle too now because there's 3 teams that go down. So I think they only need about 1 or 2 more wins, and then they solidify that place up there. But it's making it more interesting than Somerset winning. Somerset's got probably got some hard games coming up. Stars got some hard games coming up. So it's going to make it very interesting, right down to the wire. Like a lot of other teams right now are losing players. It's like Somerset's getting their players back. Stars is lowest, a few players going back to school. So that's hurting them. But still no excuse, they got enough, they have enough players that they should be able to pull it off. But
Yeah.
you know, it's just making it
Making it all
interesting.
work on the day.
Yep, and
Yeah.
Somerset's fielding 11 players every week.
Right.
I knew once they get a few of those commercial league guys playing. I played against a few of them, and some of them very good.
Right.
They
Right.
probably shouldn't be playing in that commercial league anyway, but
Now
you
I got
know,
a feel for it.
now they got 2 or 3 playing them for them that's helping them out, you know, tremendously.
Yeah.
And then you got Jordan starting to make, you know, some
Mhm.
runs and getting wickets. Kuwait
Yeah.
is always there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, and the Burden attack is not too bad right now too.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. The
um,
horse been taking wickets. That problem has been getting runs on the board.
getting runs. Yeah.
And they
So
seem to have made this
you know,
adjustment.
it's going to make it very interesting with that battle relegation anyway. But
Yeah.
still, you know, this is just the second half of the
Yeah.
start now. So
Right.
it's very important that those teams pick up points now.
Definitely. Definitely. Another Premier Division match yesterday. Western Stars won by 5 wickets, beating Cleveland County. Cleveland County batted first, scored 117 for 6. Courtney Trott, a name from the past, was the top scorer with 25. Brian Hall took 4 for 18 over 4 overs for Western Stars. And then in reply, Trey Mendes scored 53, helping Western Stars reach a total of 118 for 5. His runs came off of 55 balls, 5 fours, 2 sixes. Mackay McGowan took 2 for 20 for Cleveland County. So as you've already indicated, I mean, that was a big win for Western Stars because they need to keep winning in order to keep themselves out of that relegation battle.
Exactly. So you know, those teams they need to win against, you know, those teams. So I'm not too concerned, but what I'm mainly concerned with Stars is that it's just a few things. Like other than Trace, the other guys have got to start chipping, you know, making some runs. You know,
Right.
Before Brian was getting a few runs, but right now I don't want to say it's out of form, but I think sometimes guys got to go back to the basics.
Basics, yes,
And
yes.
you know, and sometimes in 20 overs you don't have time to go back to the basics. But when I
Right.
say basics, like stay on for maybe 2 or 3 balls, get your eye in, and then start doing it again. You know, so that's you know, that's the reality now. But like I said, it's gonna make it interesting if the league is good, man.
Right.
Thomas is not on the awards yet, you know.
Not at all.
They're just
not at all.
climbing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some teams is climbing back in.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's going to be interesting. I saw where Cleveland scored 140 today against Bay.
Right.
And I said, oh, that's a good total, but their Bay scored. Geez, I think they only lost a couple of wickets getting that.
They lost 5. But got it with the second to last ball of the game.
Oh, geez, right down to the wire.
19.5, yeah, right to the wire, yeah, right to the wire. Yeah.
So,
and then the
you
final.
know, like I said, Warwick is hanging in, even though they're still, you know, if you look at it, the knocking teams are pretty cheap, but you just can't get runs.
They just can't get runs, yeah.
So,
but they got a shot for today.
It could be interesting. And what's worse now is going to football season.
Yes.
So even
that was the problem. That was the problem yesterday, where 2 teams couldn't field enough players to have their match.
Yeah.
It's concerning, but it is what it is. The final Premier Division match yesterday, St. George's Cricket Club defeated Southampton Rangers by 8 wickets. Rangers batted first, scored 91 for 7. At one point, Doc, they were 56 without loss after 12 overs. They lost 7 wickets in a space of 30-odd runs. Galen Richardson was the top scorer at 42. Alan Douglas took 5 wickets for 9 runs over 4 overs that included a maiden. And then in reply, St. George's scored 94 for 2. Mackay Simmons was the top scorer with 54 not out. His runs came off of 31 balls. He hit 4 fours, 4 sixes, and Vernon Eve took 1 for 12. It was interesting that yesterday Rangers were without both Gennaro Tucker and the Unstoppable for that match. And they paid a heavy price for it.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe sadness those guys have time getting over them. So I'm not sure why Burcom don't play on Saturday.
Well, I know I could let me just Dion was away and Gennaro last week did not bat because he walked off the field. And he hasn't been playing since. So
okay. Well,
yeah.
You know, that's two big misses in the team, isn't it?
Yeah, big
Two
girls.
big runs and wickets.
I was just gonna say it, yeah, with both bat and ball.
Yes, and I don't know. Sometimes guys have got to, some of the other players got to step it up, man. Like, sometimes
On an average, those two bowl 8 overs a game, and sometimes they're taking 5 or 6 wickets. You take that out of the equation, and then one of them's always 40 or 50 runs and plus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So combined, you're looking at 70, 80 runs a game. Take that out of the field, and again, like you said, somebody has to step up.
And that's true. And not only that, the experience of them on the field too. Setting fields and for different players coming on, and just this experience with the younger guys. Just them being around with the younger guys help those guys out too. When they don't see them there, I don't know if the good they get shell shocked or they're scared to play their shots. But I don't know. But sometimes you got to take the bull by the horns and say, I'm going out there and bet.
I'm going to be the one.
And they got players that are capable of doing it. They got Charles Trott. They got the new boy, the Ugly Bet, Jelani. These guys.
Yeah, old boy.
So it's Dalen Richardson, the captain too. These guys, none of those slouches. They could bet on Bill. So I'm sure eventually those guys will start making runs. You look at Somerset's team; they started off very slow. Wasn't making runs, and they were plenty of 9, 10 guys. But look how they turned their season around
at the right time. We're going to take a commercial break. Let me come back. We'll look at today's Premier Division matches and that shocker at Southampton Oval. We'll be right back.
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends, and that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
Putting down the weapons.
You seen this?
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Well, Doc, we're going to start with that match at Southampton Oval in the Premier Division where Warwick Workman defeated Southampton Rangers by 2 wickets. Southampton Rangers batted first, scored 119 for 9. they would only have 10 players. So top scorer was Dalen Richardson with 50. Dion Stubble did play. He opened and he was out for 11. He was the only other batsman in double figures. So it was Dalen on 50. His runs came off of 52 balls, 2 fours, 1 6. And the only other batsman in double figures was Dion Stubble, with Warwick giving up 28 extras. And then in reply, Warwick scored 122 for 8 in 19.3 overs. Their top scorer was Malachi Jones with 27. They had 2 other players in double figures in Omari DeShields and Kyle Swan. DeShields scored 20 and Swan scored 11. Southampton Rangers gave up 24 extras. And that was the difference right there. The extras mounting up for Warwick, both for and against, and they were able to, with those 2 other players getting into the double figures, made a big difference for Warwick to get over the finish line. And they would feel good about themselves, although they're still deep in trouble, in that relegation battle, but they would feel good about beating Southampton Rangers. Any Warwick team beating Southampton Rangers, they'll call that glory time.
Yeah, like I said, they're always seeing I got the chance of knocking teams on. All right, cheap, but they won't be able to get the run. So this time they got it in it.
Yeah.
The Berlin attack is not too bad.
Right.
But again, they depend on Malachi to make all your runs most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to see some other guys chipping in, but
right.
In order for them to stay up or to do well, you definitely need more players. To be assisting in the betting department, and that's what letting them down pretty much the whole 2020 season.
Yeah.
When they score a big total, Malachi scores a big total.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Berlin sometimes, they got another bad Berlin line, a Berlin attack. So they, they have to do both sides. They need to start working on that bet.
Right. Then at St. David's, Somerset defeated Western Stars by 56 runs. Somerset batted first and scored 132 for 8. Their top scorer was Jordan De Silva with 30. And the top bowler for Western Stars was Rohan Davis. He took 2 for 22 from 4. Sebastian Davis took 2 for 24 from 4, and Brian Hall took 2 for 27 from 4. Then in reply, Western Stars could only manage 76 for 9 in their 20 overs. The top scorer was Trey with 17. In a number of weeks, the first time he hasn't reached a half century in an inning, and there goes Western Stars, not getting a lot of runs. Matt Watson, one of those players you've been talking about for Somerset, took 3 for 13 off of 4 overs. Somerset again, back-to-back wins on the weekend.
Yeah, like I tell you, I'm seeing that in the commercial league is a good batsman. I'm good. He's a good all-rounder. I see he got a few wickets and he made runs. He's been taking wickets from him, he goes for off breaks.
Right.
It's been greatly taking wickets from him and scoring runs too. So, and then you had the other commercial players. I think it's Apatese.
Apatese, yeah.
Yeah, he's been
got 12 today,
playing and making a few runs too. But Jordan, it's glad to see Jordan back on 1-2 runs.
Yeah.
Like I said, they have a fairly good Berlin attack. Great, he's there, and Dominic Saber playing with him, getting wickets and runs again. And then, like I said, the guy Matt Watson, taking wickets too, and he got some vital wickets against Stars too.
Yeah.
So I think in the league, in the commercial league, they call him the Viking.
Right.
Big bird, they call him the Viking.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? It's funny because when just after the COVID, when play resumed, Jordan had a beard like that, but he since which trimmed it. But Jordan had a beard like that. one of the first times I saw Matt, I said, Jordan's looking a little short over there. Because although they look alike, Jordan's just a little taller than him. And then when he came over by me, I realized who it was. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not Jordan. That's
That's a Viking, yeah. So,
yeah,
you know, he's a pretty good player, a very good player. You know,
right,
it's from the UK, so he's probably played some good cricket, high cricket in
right.
the UK.
Well, he
Not a
held on to
bad
that
player at
return
all.
catch
So
with
to
his
see
trade.
him
So,
back, playing for Somerset, it's boots in there. In the all round, the boots in his boots in that team, all
right,
round with Benton and Burley.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty decent fielder too. So that's a big pickup for them.
right,
To have in 2020.
yeah,
So and like I said, Stars is slowly getting in that relegation battle now.
right,
And like I said, one or two more wins from them, they should be out. But
yeah,
again, they have to stop depending on trade, get
right,
early runs, and somebody
right,
else set up, like I said
yeah,
early on. But I'm not too worried. But I just think that these guys just say, well, Trey will get it. Trey make
mm,
runs, Trey will get it.
right, right,
But you
right,
have to, even like yesterday, he got 50 something. You
yeah.
got to say, well, Trey's making runs. Why can't I? Can't get
Right.
runs. All you have to do is
What am I
stay
doing
in.
wrong? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, most teams, they always depend on too many other. Same with
individuals.
Rangers,
Yeah,
and Gennaro,
yeah.
Ward, with Malachi.
Right.
Where St. George's is getting over. They have a variety of players.
Variety of guys. Yeah, yeah.
One
Because
guy
Alan,
plays
yesterday, Alan got out
and
north, and here comes
you like
Mackay.
a person like Unias sometimes just about betting,
Right.
and then
Yeah,
because
and he
you
wasn't
got
even
your
in the game
bet,
yesterday. So,
Alan Douglas,
yeah,
Kai Simmons and Trady
yeah,
and Ward Grassi, these guys, consistently making runs.
yeah.
So they have a variety. That's why they're doing so good in the if you look at it in 2020.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then with Bay, the same thing. Bay, sometimes Bay struggle too. Trying to get runs, but then again,
Right,
I see a lot of other players now chipping in for Bay. So
right, right.
and that's why they'll continue on winning too. So you
Yeah,
need players to continue to help to build an innings when guys are in.
right,
You watch our trade bets, watch our Malachi bets when they start out bet in the 2020, because it's not
right,
always about attack. You have to
right.
have some defense. You got to know when to run between the wickets and stuff. Which fielder to take on and stuff like that. The
Mhm.
small side of the field. There's a lot of things you have to look at when
Right,
you
right.
start making 50s and 100s each week. It's a lot of it's a thought. It's a mental thing too, where
Right.
one thing about the 2020, once you get in, you're in.
Yeah,
You have to get
have to
in.
get yourself in. Yeah,
And that's why a
yeah,
lot of players now, once they get in, they're making big totals. Like
right,
even towards the end, like when it's like 4 or 5 overs, in order for the team to get a big total, that player that's in is to bet right through.
right, right. Yeah, the one
If
that's
they
set.
don't,
Yeah,
that means to do bets and coming in, it's gotta get some,
Gotta
that takes a little while. But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I said, St. George has got a much better all-round team, and a lot of the teams, and St. George's team lost no. If you look at it, I don't think they lost any players
They haven't lost in
through
2020.
people going to school
Right,
or other reasons. Like
right.
it's like they're basically playing the 50 overs, the team they play in the 50 overs every week.
Right, right.
So I'm thinking they got one foot in the door for that league. It's going to be
They-
very hard to stop.
Yeah, well, the last game of the season with them would be against Bailey's Bay. So, but the run rate is far superior. But that last game today in the Premier Division, Bailey's Bay did pull off a 6-wicket victory over Cleveland County. Cleveland County scored 140 for 6 in their 20 overs. Mackay McGowan was the top scorer with 49. Dennis Muslim Jr. scored 42. And then Mackay Young scored 15. They were the only 3 batsmen in double figures in that 140 for 6. Taking 3 wickets was Sakeo Hart for Bailey's Bay. Shirai Tavares took 2 for 17. Hart took 3 for 20 over 4 overs. And then, interestingly enough, Bayless Bay scored the 145 for 4 in 19.5 overs. Terran Frey scored 40, but when he was out with the score on 94 for 4, there were only 4 overs and 4 balls remaining in the inning, and they needed another 50. They needed 40 odd runs, 50 runs. Yeah, and Stephen Otterbridge scored 42 not out. Like you said, he had to bet through, but it was the inning of Kyle Hutzel, who scored 30 not out off of 16 balls, 1 4 and 2 6s that helped push them over the line. Stephen Otterbridge is 42, came up with 36 balls, 3 4s and 1 6. So they were able to, like you said, if that one person stays, here comes Kyle, and in 16 balls is able to score 30, you know, to get him over that line. You heard me?
I could just about hear you. Hold on 1 minute.
Okay, so I was saying Kyle was able to come in with Steven already solidifying that end of the wicket. Kyle was able to come in and just, you know, knock the ball around and get Bay closer to that target, being more aggressive.
Right. Yeah, and that works too. You know, that's, you know, like you say, once you got somebody that could hit the ball, and then all you need is another person that could stay there and be with them. So yeah, that works.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll look at the first division results from today. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, you know, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
And welcome back. Well, Doc, at Lords and St. David's all but wrapped up the league today, defeating Willowcotts by 7 wickets. Willowcotts won the toss and went to bat. They scored 112. They were short of players, but they scored 112. Quincy James was the top scorer of 42. Derek Bringman took 4 for 22 from 4 overs, and Justin Pitcher took 3 for 4 from 1.4 overs. And then St. David's replied with 115 for 3. Ajon Lamb scored 35. Joseph Baston was the pick of the Willowcotts Builders, taking 2 for 25 from 3 overs. You've already indicated that, you know, St. David's have done the business, done what they needed to do, worked hard to get right back into the Premier Division. Something we thought would happen anyway with the quality of players that they have in the likes of Derek Brinkman, George O'Brien, Justin Pitcher. You know, OJ was back for a few, you know, and then you had the coming throughs of Ajon Lamb and Dean Simons, you know, and today they had to field quite a few youngsters because there was a golf match with St. David's and I believe Wolves. So a lot of the senior players were playing golf. So, you know, but these youngsters stepped up in the field and were able to help St. David's maintain that unbeaten streak.
Yeah, one thing with St. David's, do have a lot of youngsters in it because they play in that the Connie in St. David's, you know, they have that Connie program down there. So, and I think they was the champion. So they have a good youth program down there. You know, Flats, Cleveland, and all those guys got you know, that youth program going.
Right.
I'm glad to see that now. You know, they just step right into the team.
Yeah.
And look and make the runs. You know, and that's vital because players are going to be missing coming now. Football starting late in the season. You know, and
Right.
of course we got these youngsters there that are available. Players, some probably be seeing going back to school.
Right.
You know. I don't know how long some of these players have got before they go back, but you know, it's going to be a lot of reasons why players can't. If they're not playing Saturdays, a lot of players can't play Saturdays. You know?
Right. Which puts more
It's
strain
difficult.
on
A lot
the
of players
team.
work Saturdays. You
Yeah.
know, so you know, that's kind of difficult. Then you got football season started, where these players, some of them playing football. You know, and there's a few players missing from a lot of teams through football.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we have another weekend coming with double headers, and then I believe the final weekend is the first weekend in October. So we'll have to see how these teams make out, how much of them that want to make that push to stay in the Premier Division, and who wants to be that second team to get promoted, because that's the key.
Yeah.
Then also today in the first division, Flats won by 4 wickets over PHC. PHC scored 96 for 4 in their 20 overs. Deontay Dolan was the top scorer with 38. Jemai Douglas was the pick of the Flats Victoria bowlers, taking 2 for 19 from 4. And then in reply, Flats scored 96 for 7. Jan Johan now was the top scorer of 31. And Jack Fishlock was the pick of the PHC bowlers, taking 2 for 32 off of 3 overs. So those are some different names for Flats and PHC in that Flats inning. But the introduction of these players is got to be a good thing for the sport. Hopefully, we can keep them here in and gradually get more players playing.
Yeah, you know, it's vital in it. You know, we have a youth programs going around, youth teams, we're under 19s, you know, and I'm sure the coaching, you know, the new coaching staff are looking at a lot of these young guys to, you know, make sure they develop so they could go right into the senior team in it. So, you know, it's something where each team needs. If you look at most teams, they do have a lot of youngsters playing.
Right.
And sometimes they try them in the 2020, you know, because in the 50 overs, you know, I think that was probably be better for them to develop. In the 50 overs, but a lot of teams, you know, with the league how it is, you know, relegation, so they're gonna pay the best players in it. So what's gonna happen? The younger guys are they're not gonna play.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, if they do play, you know, they'll probably play against probably the weaker teams, but with the relegation and teams need to win, you know, so it's kind of difficult. But the 2020 is good too, but for the develop, if you look at 2020 for the development for these players, it's not really good.
Yeah. Then in the final first division game today, Devonshire Rec won by 30 runs over Somerset Bridge. Devonshire Recreation Club batted first. They scored 196 for 4. Druande Basson was the top scorer with 60 not out. His runs came off with 35 balls. He had 1 4 and 6 sixes. Donny Charles was the pick of the Somerset Bridge bowlers. He took 1 for 9 from 4 overs. Some decent bowling there. In reply, Somerset Bridge once again came up short, 139 for 6. Jason Smith, for the second day in a row, was the top scorer, this time 31 not out. Dion Ball was the pick of the Devonshire Recreation Club bowlers. He took 2 for 12 from his 3 overs. Devonshire Recreation Club picking up a vital win there. You know, something that was needed for them to lift their spirits and try to see if they can get themselves into a position of a playoff.
Yeah, it's interesting in the first division. You know, Willicotts is really making it hard for themselves now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
That loss today kind of ended everything, giving St. David's the title.
Yeah. I still think they have enough depth in their team if they could get, you know, the players out to go up. But you know, you can't if you want to go up to the Premier, you can't keep playing 9, 10 players like today. Right. You know, against St. Davis. Yeah. The team that you need to win against, you know. So I think right now they're just making it a little harder for themselves.
Right, without a doubt. Again, I mean, when we talk about these teams and the importance of the game, I mean, what would have been the talk for Willicotts all week, knowing if we beat St. David's, we almost guarantee ourselves going up because we're tied on points with them, and the gap is so far behind. But now that loss, and they lost a game last week, that kind of leaves them in a very, like you said, you know, they would have won the game yesterday by default. Flats didn't have enough players, but you know, last week they lost to Devonshire Recreation Club. So you know, when you're starting to lose at the wrong time, and this is the wrong time to lose because you're looking to go up. You know, they went down by a point in the 50 overs. Can they come up? That's you know, like you said, they're shooting themselves in the foot with playing short. So now you're playing at Lord's, other than White Hill is probably one of the biggest fields in the island, and you've got what, 7 guys in the field if you only got 9 players. The bull and the wicket keep. Lord's is too big for that.
It's not ideal. Not ideal. Not at all. They're shooting yourself in the foot right now. Which is unfortunate because they came that far, and now it's like all that hard work that they done, you know, to win the first 5, 6 games. Right up there in the runners, and now like you know, players not showing up. You know, it's difficult. I know getting towards the end of cricket season, guys like that, but you're playing 2020. It's not like there's a full day of cricket. Could you imagine if it was 50 of us like not playing now? Right. Oh, man,
Doc, the other problem they're going to have, because I'm not sure, I think Somerset is now closed and getting ready for football season. So Willicotts will be traveling away from Somerset this final games. How important are you know, to make sure that they get, especially if they have to play on Saturday, how important is it to get a victory on Saturday?
It's going to be important for a lot of the teams when you think about it. Like I think Somerset's closed for football now, so that's one field that's not available. So I'm not too sure when the other teams are going to be included, but you've got to think about the availability of the fields. I know Vale's Bay won't have that problem. Right. And St. Davis, I'm not too sure about St. Davis, but a lot of games might be played down there. You know.
Well, the good thing about St. Davis, where they move the field, it's not right in the middle of the wicket.
Yeah.
So it's on to the start.
You know, it's going to be interesting because I'm looking at it. This season's going to be right up to early October.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, sometimes it's not bad, but I just think that the players, it's just the availability of players. You can
Right.
play cricket right now too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
But it's just the availability of players,
The players. Yeah. Yeah.
and fields.
Right. That's the other thing.
Because football teams start a lot of they want to play to get ready for the season.
Yeah.
Teams, and for sure,
Well, I don't think St. George's can clear because I don't think St. George's can clear because they're only running to win the league, and their last game will be against Bay down St. George's. So I don't think they're gonna clear yet.
No. But it's going to be hard. I'm sure they'll find some fields. No problem.
Right.
I think it's a big blow when Somerset clears third because they're making up to.
I'm only assuming that they closed it because the games were moved from Somerset this week to St. David's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm only assuming.
like I said, we will see. You see now that a lot of these scores is low scoring games now.
Right.
Like you score, like I think the highest score now is like 140, like 140,
Right.
150.
Right.
Like on that game with Cleveland and Bay.
Right.
Where was that game? Was at Bay, right?
That was that day. Yeah. Yeah.
So Bay's back is still pretty good.
Right.
No football playing at that field. It's just cricket. I think a lot of the other fields, like now, I'm sure the football teams is training on it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but they're probably not training on the wicket per se. But
No. Well, the team that scored the most runs today was Devonshire Rack. They got 169. That was the highest score today. The highest score. That was at Wellington. I think at Wellington.
Oh, okay.
I think at Wellington. Yes, at Wellington. Yesterday's highest score, St. David's got 148. St. George's, no, that was last week. So yesterday was at 17. Somerset got 112. St. David's got 148. Yeah, 148 was the highest yesterday. Yeah. So under 150. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there could be a couple of reasons. The reason, could be, like I say, a field, some of the players, I wouldn't say that tired, but, cricket seems like they're probably playing a lot of cricket, and some teams might be training now, some teams are not training, so it's a number of reasons why.
Right.
It's coming down to a crucial period because now it's teams like winning and losing are going down or coming up. So, and what makes me laugh is some of the teams that are we're trying to win the league or go up are struggling for players. Also.
Yeah. If you're trying to win the league and you're struggling for players, man, oh man, yeah, serious trouble. Yeah. Well, we've come to the part where we're gonna we announced the player of the month for August, and it was none other than Trey Manders, and this was the presentation at Gosman's.
Good afternoon. My name is Ethan Phillip. I'm here with Trey Manders, this month's player of the month. Trey did excellently this month, actually scoring 3 back-to-back centuries, and just to congratulate him, here's a gift certificate. All right, you have a good one, right?
Yes, thanks. I'd like to thank Gosman's for giving this gift certificate away. I had a good month. I can't thank Gosman's enough for the gift. Thanks.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Cool.
Yeah. Player of the month, Trey Manders for the month of August. Now we come to the part where we look at the player of the week, Doc. And I'm going to give you some highlights from yesterday and obviously highlights today. Yesterday, we had at Southampton Oval, we had Mackay Simmons for St. George's scoring 52 not out. Alan Douglas 5 for 9 from 4. That included a maiden. For Western Stars, Brian Hall took 4 for 18. His team won over Cleveland County. Trey scored 53. And then at Somerset, LJ scored 48, helping Somerset defeat Warwick by 23 runs. Luke Horan took 3 for 11. Unfortunately, he was on the losing end. Dominic Sabir took 3 for 2 from 1 over for Somerset. And then at White Hill, Ajon Lamb scored 51, helping St. David's to beat Somerset Bridge, with Justin Pitcher taking 3 wickets for 6 runs for St. David's. And then today, the match between Warwick and Southampton Rangers. No one in the Rangers team. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Dalen scored 50, but it was a losing cause. You had Luke Fulton taking 3 for 19 from 3.3 overs, and you had Corey Burgess taking 3 for 26 from 4 overs. In the Warwick inning, you had Dion Stubble taking 3 for 20, and Dalen Richardson, after his 50, took 3 for 24. The unfortunate thing, it was all in a losing cause. At the Somerset Western Stars match, in the bowling department for Western Stars, we had again Rohan Davis 2 for 22, Sebastian Davis 2 for 24, Brian Hall 2 for 27, and then in the Somerset in the Western Stars inning, we had Matt Watson taking 3 for 13, helping Somerset to defeat Western Stars by those 56 runs. And then, of course, in the match between Cleveland County and Bailey's Bay, Mackay McGowan scoring 49 from 33, 4 fours, 4 sixes. Dennis Musson Jr. 42, 31 balls, 5 fours, 1 6. In the bowling department, Sakeo Hart, 3 wickets for 20 runs from 4 overs to help to restrict Cleveland County to 140. And then in the Davis Bay inning, Terran Frey scored 40. Stephen Atterbury scored 42 not out. And Kyle Hotzel scored 30 not out off of 16 balls. Again, 1 4 and 2 sixes. And it was 1 wicket apiece throughout that match for Cleveland County. Then in the first division, we had Crazy James scoring 42 against St. David's for Willicott. Derek Bringman, 4 overs, 4 for 22. And Justin Pitcher followed up his 3-wicket haul from the day before with another 3-wicket haul for 4 runs, this time in 1.4 overs. And then St. David's had Ajon Lamb scoring 35. In the flats match, you had Jemai Douglas taking 2 for 19 for flats, and Jack Fishlock taking 2 for 32 for PHC. And Druande Bascom would be the weekend's top scorer with 60 not out for Devonshire Rack, with them defeating Somerset Bridge by 30 runs. Donnie Charles 1 for 9 from those 4 overs. Dion Ball taking 2 for 12. What numbers stood out for you? What 2 numbers stood out for you, Doc, and performance-wise?
It's pretty difficult this weekend. You got a few guys making runs, and not no big totals. But it looks like it's a Burlers this weekend, and a couple of Burlers really good. You know, and so I was looking at Matt Watson had a good weekend, and he scored 51. He scored 50 something on Saturday, was it? Oh, that was last week.
That was last week.
Yeah. He got 3 for 12, made some runs. I don't know what he done on Saturday. And then somebody got what, 4, one of the first division in the first division.
Yes. That was Derek Raymond taking 4. That was today. Yesterday, him and Justin swapped days. So Derek got 4 today. Justin got 3. Justin got 3 yesterday, and Derek up 2. With St. David's winning both games. Yeah.
Like I said, I think Derek Reynolds had a good week. Justin,
Yeah.
they got 2. They got results too. St. David's.
Right. Right. 2 big results. Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin got 3 for 6 yesterday, and 3 for 4 today. 3 for 4 today. So in let's see real quick. In 3.4 overs, he's taking 6 wickets for 10 runs.
Wow. Yeah, I'm leaning to. Well, I was kind of leaning towards Justin anyway.
Okay.
Both of those that's helped his team to win.
Yeah.
You got the one day Bascom who had a good knock, 60 not out.
And he got 40 the day
highest
before.
too.
Right.
That was a good result for them too. But,
Right.
I was kind of leaning between the one day and Justin.
Right. Yeah. Well, the luck has to go with the champion. So I'm leaning towards Justin pitcher.
Yeah.
Well, Grundy played for St. David's and Connie, so he'll be all right.
Yeah. But you got to look at this. Scored 2 big totals. Got a good score last week too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's helping demonstrate to get some vital wins.
Yeah, definitely.
It's unfortunate, like I don't know much. If he would have got a big total yesterday,
Right. Unfortunately, the game, one of the game was postponed.
The game was postponed, so it's unfortunate. Yeah. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Justin. I think he's had a good.
Okay, well, we'll announce Justin Pitcher as the player of the week. So congratulations to Justin, and we have a few more weeks of the Island Stats Cricket Show, Doc. We're almost there. Let's see what happens. Next week we'll be able to say who's looking at that relegation battle, because clearly, I mean, like you said, St. George's have a foot in the door. They still have Bay to play. St. David's have all but wrapped up the first division. Who's going to go up with them? Who's going down? That's what we'll be discussing next week. All right? Okay.
All right.
Enjoy your evening, brother. Appreciate you.
You too, Earl. Cheers. All right.